stitches here. My center 12 stitches I'm going to bind off. I have them marked with removable markers, and then I have the remaining stitches over here that will go to my other armhole steek. So what I'm concerned is if the bind off right in this neck area, and I'm going to show a little technique that I've learned to help make this a little bit cleaner on both edges. I've started working my stitches coming up to my center of the neck, so I'm going to let's see, actually I was here. I'm going to work up to my first marker. I'm going to remove the marker, and I'm going to work a lifted increase in the stitch on my right needle. Now to do this, you insert your needle in the stitch below the stitch below your needle. By this I mean I can't work in this stitch here because I just worked that. And if I work it again, it won't be correct. You'd see it wouldn't work at all. So I have to go down to the stitch below the stitch just worked, which is this stitch right here. Now you can do that by going into that stitch in the center and then rolling your needle to catch the purl bump and bringing it to the front, and then you knit into the back of that stitch. I'll do that again. You can stick your needle from behind into the stitch in the row below, the stitch just worked on the needle, and roll your needle back to catch the purl bump and bring it to the front here, and then work that stitch in the back loop. Or if you know what you're looking for, I'm looking for the left leg of the stitch of the row below. There's the left leg. I'm going to come in from the front and just scoop it up. I'm only getting the leg. I'm not getting the whole stitch. I'm not getting the whole stitch there. I'm just getting the left leg of that stitch. And then I'm going to knit that through the back loop. That's a left leaning increase. Now what I'm going to do, since I've made an increase, I'm going to immediately get rid of this because this is what cleans up this edge. I'm going to knit one stitch. I'm going to take this is my increase that I just made. I'm going to pull it over my stitch on my needle and drop it off. It seems like I'm binding off a stitch, but I haven't actually bound off any of my stitches yet. I'm just getting rid of that increase I just made. Now I'm ready to actually do my bind off. So in order to do that, I'm going to knit another stitch, and I'm going to start counting my bind offs every time I lift a stitch over. I want to ultimately get rid of 12 stitches. So I'm going to start counting. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, but I still have this one to get rid of because I'm not to my marker yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this marker off. I'm going to move this stitch that's on my right needle to my left needle, and I'm going to knit 2 together. So I have 12 stitches bound off here, and then I can continue on. And what this will do, if we look at this edge, this column of stitches right here will continue right up, very nice and clean. You don't have where it spreads, and I'm going to show you where it spread before. I didn't do this on another one. Let's see, not this. Let's go to my other armhole, if I could find it. Here's where I bound off last time, and if you can see this column of stitches right here and this column of stitches right here separate, and there's a gap in there, and in that gap the yarn, it just is messy. So let's go back over to what I just did and look at how clean that is. There isn't anything really to spread those apart, and there's no running thread that's going in between here. And on this side, this column of stitches here is nice and straight, and then the next column of stitches goes right up to my needle. If we look on the other one down here, you'll see this column of stitches gets distorted by its neighbor. There's like a choke hold here. There's a bind up thing that goes in it. It messes up this line of stitches.